Desert areas on Earth stretch across approximately 36 million square kilometers, more than twice the size of Russia, the world's largest country, and 18 times the size of Mexico, with 9.22 million square kilometers. The largest desert in the world is the Sahara in North Africa, a region that was green and teeming with life just a few millennia ago. Other large arid and hot deserts include the Gobi Desert in China and Mongolia, the Atacama in Chile, the Arabian Desert, and the Sonoran and Moab. Deserts in North America. Nearly 20% of Australia is desert territory. In such vast expanses, some of which weren't deserts in geologically recent times, many things have happened. Many of them only recently discovered by humanity, and several are difficult for science to explain. Let's see the most mysterious and disturbing discoveries made in the deserts of the world. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications to stay up to date with our content. Skeletons of a different type of human found in the Sahara, dating back 7,000 years. An archaeological mission in the Sahara recently found 15 human skeletons in a rock shelter in Libya, including 2 naturally mummified women who died 7,000 years ago, representing a mysterious human lineage. Between 14,000 and 5,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert looked nothing like it does today. It was green and lush, with rivers, lakes, grasslands and trees that supported a variety of animals, including humans. Researchers analyzed the DNA of the 2 mummified cattle-herding women, revealing a previously unknown ancient human population that was genetically distinct. According to an April 2025 article in Nature, these individuals from the ancient Green Sahara showed no significant genetic influence from sub-Saharan southern populations or prehistoric European and Near Eastern groups in the north. This suggests they remained genetically isolated despite practicing animal domestication, a cultural innovation that originated outside of Africa, said Johann S. Krauss, a geneticist from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology. The finding was unexpected, as researchers had long theorized that the Green Sahara was merely a migration corridor between North Africa and sub-Saharan regions. Number 3. Mummies older than Egypt's found in the Atacama Desert of Chile. Egypt may have the most ornate tombs and the most famous mummies, but not the oldest. The Chinchorro people in Chile's Atacama Desert were the first to mummify their dead, around 7,000 years ago. Although its 105,000 kilometers only represent 1.14% of the Sahara's size, the small northern Chilean desert facing the Pacific is the driest on the planet. Some areas haven't seen rain in centuries. In this desert, mummies have been found that predate Egyptian ones by 2,000 years. The Chinchorro were the first people to inhabit northern Chile and southern Peru. They pioneered life in the Atacama Desert, said Bernardo Arriaza, a physical anthropologist from the University of Tarapacá. He added that this was also the first known culture in the world to mummify its dead, beginning around 5000 BC. Remains of hundreds of these marine hunter-gatherers who lived along the Pacific coast of Atacama between approximately 5450 and 890 BC have been found in the Arica and Parinacota regions. Number 4. Whale Cemetery in Chile's Atacama. Desert Cerro Balena is a fossil site in the Bahia Inglesa Formation located along the Pan-American Highway in the Atacama Desert, just north of the Chilean port of Caldera. Dated to the late Miocene during the Neogene period, the whale cemetery was discovered in 1965 during military operations and excavated and studied between 2011 and 2012, the year it received legal protection. The site is extremely rich in fossil whale skeletons, including over 40 individuals ranging in age from youth to adulthood. The high concentration of cetaceans has made Balena a national treasure in Chile, although it also contains fossils of seals, sailfish, sharks, swordfish, and aquatic sloths. The unusual concentration of whale and marine species remains is explained by poisoning from toxins released by algae, a phenomenon known as harmful algal blooms. Paleontological and geological evidence suggests that high iron levels in the ocean fueled algal overgrowth, poisoning the animals. Their carcasses were carried by waves to the shore, where they were ultimately buried. Number 5. Chochilla Cemetery. The Chochilla Cemetery is a necropolis housing pre-Hispanic mummified human remains and archaeological artifacts. Located 30 kilometers south of the Peruvian city of Nazca, it is associated with the Nazca culture, known for its colossal geoglyphs. The cemetery began being used around 200 CE and continued receiving burials until the 9th century. It was discovered in 1920 after being looted by grave robbers, but many bodies have been preserved, believed to be protected from bacteria and insects by a resin used in funerary procedures. Chochilla was featured in the film Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where it appeared connected to a fictional burial chamber. The necropolis contains numerous burials, spanning its nearly 700 years of use, though it was extensively looted by huaqueros, who left human remains and ceramics scattered. Located next to the Paroma riverbed and accessible by a dirt road from the Pan American Highway, the site has been protected by Peruvian law since 1997. Tourists pay a modest fee for a roughly 2-hour tour. The exceptional preservation of the bodies was primarily due to the dry Peruvian desert climate. However, the burial rites also helped. Bodies were dressed in embroidered cotton, painted with resin, and buried in mud brick tombs. Se quiser, continuo com os números 6 a 10 na próxima parte. Deseja que eu prossiga? Você disse sim. O chat GPT disse perfeito. Aqui está a continuação da tradução. No vídeo, com os números 6 a 10 em inglês, mantendo o estilo original e narrativo. Number 6. A mysterious skeleton in the Iranian desert. In 2004, archaeologists discovered a very peculiar skeleton in the Lut Desert of Iran, the driest and hottest desert in Asia. Nicknamed the Giant of the Lut Desert, the skeleton measured 2.45 meters, over 8 feet tall, extremely unusual for any known human remains from that region or era. The skeleton was found buried in a shallow grave among ceramic fragments and primitive tools. The age of the remains is still under debate, but preliminary analysis suggests it could be between 5,000 and 7,000 years old. What has intrigued scientists the most is not just the size of the skeleton, but the proportions. The skull is elongated and the limbs are thicker than normal. Some fringe researchers speculate about a lost race of giants or ancient genetic anomalies, although there is no consensus in the scientific community. Further study was interrupted due to political instability in the region, and the skeleton remains in storage at a local archaeological museum in Kerman. Number 7. The mystery of the lost city of Ubar in the Arabian desert. Known as the Atlantis of the Sands, the lost city of Ubar was long considered a myth mentioned in the Quran and Arabian legends. In 1992, using NASA satellite images, researchers identified an ancient caravan route in the Rub al-Khali Desert, the largest continuous sand desert in the world. Following the tracks, they discovered ruins in Oman believed to be the remains of Ubar, a once thriving trade center that may have collapsed when its underground water reservoir caved in, causing the city to sink. The site includes collapsed towers, stone buildings, and a large sinkhole. Excavations revealed frankincense altars, indicating that Ubar was a major player in the ancient incense trade, so important that it appeared in Greco-Roman texts. Many experts believe the discovery of Ubar confirms the accuracy of historical Islamic texts. However, some scholars remain skeptical and suggest the ruins could belong to another, less legendary city. Number 8. Ancient skeletons with elongated skulls in Peru's Paracas Desert. In 1928, archaeologist Julio Tello discovered a massive and mysterious cemetery in the Paracas Desert, Peru. Inside were dozens of tombs with skeletons that had elongated skulls, some of which still had hair and skin. These skulls are known as the Paracas skulls and are believed to be over 3,000 years old. While cranial deformation, the intentional reshaping of a child's skull by binding, was practiced in many ancient cultures, the Paracas skulls are unusual because their volume is up to 25% larger and 60% heavier than normal human skulls. Additionally, certain internal anatomical features appear different, according to researchers who have studied CT scans of the skulls. Some theories suggest they might represent a different species or subspecies of human, or a now extinct culture with unknown biological traits. DNA tests were conducted in the 2010s, and the controversial results, not yet peer-reviewed, hinted at non-native mitochondrial DNA lineages. Mainstream science remains skeptical, attributing the traits to cultural cranial deformation despite the oddities. Number 9. The alien skull in the Sonoran Desert. In 2007, a hiker in the Sonoran Desert of Arizona stumbled upon a skull with highly unusual features: large eye sockets, no nasal, bone, and an oddly shaped cranium. The media quickly dubbed it the alien skull. Speculations ran wild. Was it a hoax, a mutated animal, or even evidence of extraterrestrial life? Experts from the University of Arizona examined the skull and determined it was likely from a human, possibly a child, with a severe congenital disorder like hydrocephalus or craniosynostosis, both of which deform the skull during early development. However, the exact origin of the skull remains unknown. Its discovery site was never officially excavated, and many scientists criticize the lack of formal study. The skull currently resides in a private collection, fueling speculation and controversy to this day. Number 10. 2,000-year-old desert tunnels in Peru. In the Nazca Desert of southern Peru, best known for the Nazca Lines, archaeologists have also uncovered a series of underground aqueducts called puquios, sophisticated tunnels that are over 2,000 years old. Built by the Nazca culture, the puquios were used to tap underground water and bring it to the surface using a spiral-shaped ventilation system. The engineering is so advanced that some of these tunnels still function today. The mystery lies in how the Nazca people managed to design and construct such a durable and efficient water system without modern tools. The alignment of the puquios with certain Nazca lines has led some researchers to theorize that the geoglyphs may have also had practical functions, not just ceremonial or religious purposes. Others speculate that the puquios represent evidence of lost ancient technology or knowledge passed down from even older civilizations. Se quiser, posso seguir com os números 11 a 15 agora. Deseja que eu continue? Você disse sim. O chat GPT disse perfeito. Aqui está a continuação da tradução e adaptação para inglês com os números 11 a 15 no estilo de roteiro para vídeo no YouTube. Number 11. A Forgotten Pyramid in Egypt's Desert. In 2017, archaeologists made a surprising discovery: the remains of a previously unknown pyramid buried under the sands near Dashur, Egypt. It's estimated to be over 3,700 years old and is believed to have belonged to an obscure 13th dynasty pharaoh during the Middle Kingdom. Unlike the Grand Pyramids of Giza, this structure was modest in size, and only the substructure, including a corridor and remnants of the inner chambers, survived. What makes this find so intriguing is how it challenges the idea that pyramid building had completely ceased during the Middle Kingdom. The use of limestone blocks, the unique layout of the burial chamber, and the nearby inscriptions in hieroglyphics suggest complex funerary practices that are not yet fully understood. Because the area had been looted in antiquity and partially buried by the desert, much of the pyramid's story remains hidden beneath the sand. Number 12. The 35 ancient pyramids of Sudan's necropolis. In the Sudanese necropolis of Sedinga, at least 35 small pyramids have been found packed tightly together, some just meters apart, along with several nearby tombs. The density of the structures stunned researchers during excavations between 2009 and 2012. In just one field season in 2011, archaeologists uncovered 13 pyramids in an area of only 500 square meters. These pyramids date back nearly 2,000 years to when the Kingdom of Kush flourished in the region, a civilization that once bordered ancient Egypt and later the Roman Empire. The Kushites were heavily influenced by Egyptian burial architecture, which explains their passion for pyramid construction. As generations passed, they kept building more pyramids until nearly all available space was occupied. The largest pyramid in the site is just 7 meters wide at the base, while the smallest, likely built for a child, measures only 75 centimeters. Unfortunately, time and camel caravan routes have worn down many of the structures. According to Vincent Francigny of the American Museum of Natural History, the pyramid tops once featured decorations like lotus flowers or solar orbs, symbols of spiritual significance now mostly lost. Number 13. The Mystery of Al-Hijr, Madain Saleh in Saudi Arabia. Deep in the desert province of Medina, Saudi Arabia, lies the archaeological site of Al-Hijr, also known as Madain Saleh, a stunning city carved into sandstone cliffs, once part of the Nabatean kingdom during the 1st century CE. Al-Hijr was the southernmost and second largest Nabatean city after Petra, located in present-day Jordan. The site includes over 110 tombs, many with ornate facades chiseled directly into the rock. Thanks to the dry climate, the absence of resettlement after its abandonment, and local taboos that kept people away, Al-Hijr remains incredibly well preserved. The city's intricate irrigation systems and oasis-style agriculture reveal how the Nabateans adapted ingeniously to harsh desert life. Its architecture reflects a crossroads of influences: Greek, Roman, Mesopotamian, and Arabian, evident in the design of its monumental tombs. Despite its beauty, the site has long been considered cursed due to Quranic stories about the Thamudic people who were said to be struck down by lightning and earthquakes for their idolatry. The Saudi government is now actively promoting the site for tourism, attempting to replace myth with historical appreciation. Number 14. The desert kites of Central Asia. Across the vast, dry Ustyurt Plateau, stretching over 520,000 square kilometers through Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan, lie strange, ancient stone structures known as desert kites. First spotted in the 1920s by a British Royal Air Force pilot, these formations resemble arrows or kites when seen from above, often stretching over hundreds of meters. Archaeologists believe they were used to trap and funnel wild antelope into killing pits for mass hunting. Some kite chains follow known migratory routes and may have helped ancient communities coordinate large-scale hunts. Shamil Amirov, an archaeologist in Uzbekistan, explains that desert kites are barely visible from the ground, but appear clearly in aerial and satellite imagery. Some kites date back more than 2,000 years, and evidence suggests they were built over more than a millennium. Unfortunately, erosion, new construction, and natural disasters have damaged many of them, and their full purpose is still being studied. Number 15. Jebel Sahaba, the prehistoric cemetery of conflict. Jebel Sahaba, or Mountain of the Companions, is an ancient burial site in present-day Sudan, near the Egyptian border, now submerged beneath Lake Nasser. Discovered in 1964 by archaeologist Fred Wendorf, the site is believed to be over 15,000 years old and linked to the Qadan culture of prehistoric Nubia. What makes Jebel Sahaba so disturbing is the evidence of violence found among the 61 burials. Skeletons show clear signs of fatal injuries, especially from projectile weapons like spears and arrows. A 2021 study concluded that this may be the earliest evidence of organized warfare or systemic intergroup violence in human history, likely driven by environmental changes and competition over scarce resources. Some skeletons still have embedded arrowheads in their bones. However, it's unclear whether the cemetery represents a single massacre or a long period of ongoing conflict. Earlier evidence of interpersonal violence also exists in other nearby regions, but Jebel Sahaba remains a chilling snapshot of prehistoric warfare in the Nile Valley. Se quiser, posso finalizar com os números 16 a 19, mantendo esse mesmo estilo. Deseja que eu continue? Você disse, sim. O chat GPT disse, ótimo. Aqui está a última parte da tradução e adaptação para inglês, com os números 16 a 19, mantendo o estilo de roteiro para vídeo no YouTube. Number 16. The Atacama Giant in northern Chile's Atacama Desert, etched into the hillside of Cerro Unita, lies one of the largest known prehistoric anthropomorphic geoglyphs in the world. The Atacama Giant, also known as the Giant of Tarapacá, the figure stretches 86 meters in length and was created sometime between the 10th and 15th centuries CE by pre-Incan cultures. The creators used a mixed technique, removing soil in some areas and piling rocks in others to form the figure. Surrounding the giant are at least 21 other geometric and humanoid geoglyphs, forming a complex visual language carved into the desert. First spotted from the air in 1967 by archaeologists and a pilot during a survey flight, the geoglyph became a national treasure in Chile. In 2009, the region was declared a protected national heritage site. While some experts believe the figure represents a yatiri, a local shaman, others think it could depict the Andean god Tunupa Tarapacá, who, according to legend, journeyed from Lake Titicaca to the Pacific Ocean. Number 17, the mysterious Blythe intaglios of California. In the Colorado Desert, near Blythe, California, massive figures are carved into the desert floor, known as the Blythe intaglios. These enormous geoglyphs include 3 humanoid figures, 2 four-legged animals, and a spiral. The largest human figure stretches an incredible 52 meters long. The creators scraped away the darker surface rocks to reveal the lighter soil beneath, then tamped it down to prevent plant growth. This technique has kept the figures visible for over 1,000 years. These geoglyphs are only truly visible from the air, which adds to their mystery, especially considering they were made long before human flight existed. Some researchers estimate their creation between 900 BCE and 1200 CE. They remain the most famous of over 200 known geoglyphs in the Colorado Desert and are the only ones of their kind in North America. Their purpose remains unknown, but theories range from ceremonial use to celestial alignment. Number 18. The works of the old men. Across the Middle East, from Syria to Saudi Arabia, thousands of mysterious stone structures, some resembling wheels or kites, are scattered across desert plains. Locals refer to them as the works of the old men. Invisible from the ground, but strikingly clear from above, these geoglyphs were first documented in 1927 by British pilot Percy Maitland, who noticed them while flying over the lava field of Harat ash-Sham in Jordan. Some resemble giant wheels, Others look like massive arrows or funnels. Their sheer size and variety far exceed the more famous Nazca lines of Peru, and they're likely much older, possibly dating back over 9,000 years. Researchers believe the wheel-shaped ones may have had ritual or astronomical significance, while the kite-shaped ones were likely hunting traps similar to those in Central Asia. Interestingly, some wheels are built over the older kite structures, suggesting different cultures or time periods repurposed the same land for different symbolic or practical reasons. Despite decades of study, the true meaning and function of these vast desert constructions remain a puzzle. Number 19. The horned kangaroos of Australia. In a remote underground fossil chamber beneath Australia's Nullarbor Desert, scientists made a surprising discovery. 5 new species of extinct kangaroos with unusual horn-like protrusions on their skulls. Between 2002 and 2003, paleontologists from the Western Australian Museum unearthed an incredible collection of fossils, including the first fully intact skeleton of the marsupial lion Thylacoleo, a now extinct apex predator. The kangaroo fossils were particularly puzzling. Initially thought to have horns, further analysis revealed the bony projections were more like superciliary ridges, thickened areas above the eyes. Kevin Prideaux, a kangaroo expert from Flinders University, believes the ridges may have protected the animal's eyes while foraging through thorny bushes or digging. The fossil site is rare, not just for the number of new species discovered, but also for how well preserved they are, giving researchers new insight into Australia's megafauna from the past 2 million years. Some of these kangaroos may have been the last of their kind before human arrival or climate shifts led to their extinction. We hope you found this video fascinating. If you have something to add, don't hesitate to share it in the comments below. Like this video and send it to your family and friends so they too can discover the most disturbing desert discoveries that science still struggles to explain. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all our social media. Links are in the description. And remember, a people that doesn't know its history is doomed to repeat it.